Hey, good morning, folks. Les Skymo here. First thing I want to do is I went live on Facebook for the first time yesterday, and I vote by mail because a lot of times I'm not here on November 7th to vote, and it's deer season. But I wrote Donald Whisman's name in on this ballot for a township trustee. The sad news is Donald called me after I made that broadcast, whatever you want to call it, and he informed me, and it didn't dawn on him to tell me, but he had missed the date to give the king $10 to fill out an application so he could be a legal write-in candidate on the ballot. However, I'm serving notice on our local government. I'm leaving that on there. I'm not voting for these people. I talked to one of them, and they informed me that all of them was for the tax levy, for the fire department. So why would I vote for people to take my money? It just don't make no sense to me. And so Donald's name will remain on there. And folks, I want to encourage you. Let this be a shot across their bow that we're looking for candidates from here on out, that's going to turn the clock back as much as we can and try to take as much of our country back as we can from this corporation and lighten the load on the tax-paying American people here in this community and the surrounding area, because, folks, this is legalized theft. These ballots for levies is legalized theft, is what it is. They're stealing my money. I have no right to vote to steal my neighbor's money. So Donald's name will remain on there. The rest of them will remain blank. So, folks, I just want to encourage you, write Donald Whisman's name in there and let them know, hey, we're looking for 1776 patriots to try to restore and take back as much of our original Constitution and our God-given rights, folks. Our God-given rights, not privileges that they've given us and taken our rights, but our God-given rights. All right, enough said about that for now. Let's look at the brief history of in the U.S., this is in America, of birth registrations. Now these are just approximate dates, stuff all over the place. People can get close, but you know, it's maybe not dead on. But some states started a voluntary registration of births in 1867. And that cost you 20 cents. To have your child's name wrote in a big old book down at the courthouse. Now, back in them days, 20 cents was a lot of money. That was hard to come by. If they had it, they're like, why would I take this down there and give to them just to write my kid's name in this big old book when I got a Bible in my house? Most of them people back in them days, they had a Bible and a dictionary. Was that Louis de Tocqueville come to America, hung out here for a while. He went back home, he told everybody, he said, man, everybody's lawyers over there in America. He said, every place I went to, said they got a Bible, a Holy Bible, and a dictionary on their mantle. And you know, that's cool. Some of them, most of them couldn't even read, but I guarantee you they still had a Bible. Anyway, they didn't have the 20 cents, or they wasn't going to pay 20 cents, have their kid's name put in a big old book, and most of the important things was wrote down in a Bible anyway, back in them days. That's where things was recorded. Their Bibles was sacred back in them days. And so time went on. And around World War II, sometime during World War II, around World War II, the government, our federal government, made made registration, birth registration, mandatory. Okay, even at that, most people still didn't do it. But it was mandatory. Okay, now today, right now today, there's a case, I believe it's in Alabama, where people, this man, young man and woman, would not sign the birth certificate, okay, of their child. Children's Services, the king, come in, took their child because they wouldn't sign that birth certificate, and actually that certificate of live birth that was to be sent in, okay, to get the birth certificate, they didn't want to sign their kid over into slavery like they had been. They found out all this stuff, I'm telling you. Okay, they took the child away from them. And they've got to go to court and go through that whole judicial process. Hold on a second. A couple things I didn't get. To prepare for this, so I may jump around a minute. I got a couple things, and you got these too. Now this ain't nothing new to you. It's look a little different. My children's looks a little different. Okay, see that right there? Okay, that right there is what they filled out at the hospital. Okay, and you can see the back of it. They put my footprints on there backwards. Okay, maybe they cursed me and that's why I walk like a duck. But anyway, this is what they filled out at the hospital. Now they got my mom and dad's name on there, Charlton and all that. But on the back, where it's really important, on the back, okay, they got my mother's maiden name up there. Why do they need my mother's maiden name? Well, that's so that they can look at that child, that cargo, because see, when these footprints signify to come into port, okay, the vessel docked, I was the cargo. That's a whole different story. Folks, all I want to do is give you enough information. I'm trying to spark a curiosity in you to look at this stuff, look it up for yourself. You can pull government documents up. Okay, this is not a conspiracy theory. By no means. This is fact. This is truth. Pull up the government documents on your own. I got another one I'm going to show you here in a minute. I might be getting a little ahead of myself, but that's okay. All this relates to vessels and cargo and martial law and admiralty law and law of the sea, things like that. Okay, but anyway, my mother's maiden name is on the back of this. Okay, so that makes me fatherless. Okay, through this come this. Okay, this was made out by Grandview Hospital. Okay, this is a birth certificate. And they submitted this, copy of this, to the state of Ohio. Okay, this is a notification of birth registration, okay? This here comes from the state of Ohio. Okay, this signifies now that the state, this established my straw man. This establishes the estate, okay, the straw man they call it. Okay, this is the beginning of everything, every document I receive from the federal government, from the state, local government, dog catcher. If my name's on it, it's all in capital letters, okay. I'm an estate, okay. I'm not the same guy that I was born. Well, I am, but they created a fictitious me to operate in this fictitious system they have. Folks, search this stuff out for yourself, please. I'm going to cover this number a little bit so some illegal don't steal my birth certificate number. Let's see how I can do this. Okay, my fingers covered up the last few numbers. Okay, but see that number right there? Okay, I'm going to show you how important that number is right there. This number right here, okay, I'm going to show you, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Put that in the box. And, but 1933 is when the shackles of government was really clamped down on the American people. You know, and like I said before, people want to get their all up in the air about slavery. Well, folks, we're all slaves. Okay, even those that we elect, our police, our firemen, everybody is a slave to this system that I call the king, to this system, the Corporation of the United States of America that was established in 1781 and signed. That was an act it was passed in 1871. Heard that big sun. I hope that don't blur everything out through my window. That Ulysses S. Grant signed, and they all committed treason. Our founding fathers, we inherited from them our original Constitution. It guaranteed us a republic. Folks, I'll tell you what, I hate to break this to you, but we are not a complete republic. We just have remnants of a republic. Our schools, like I said before, our schools are still teaching our children that we live in a constitutional republic. Folks, that's a lie. It's not true. Teach your children the truth. Learn yourself. Teach your children the truth. I wish I knew this when I was in high school. Okay, but I'm a pretty bold person at times. I would have went toe to toe with my teacher over this. You know, I would have proved her wrong, or him. He was a history teacher, was a man in high school. I was taught we have a republican, we have a constitutional republic. Even then, it was not true. It's still not true. We have remnants, little bits and pieces here and there of a republic. Most of it's a democracy. Most of it's a democracy. Okay? And you've got this sovereign citizen movement, and people with no driver's license, license plates, blah, blah, blah. God, when we was created, God, just real quick on this, that's a whole nother subject. But on this, and sovereign citizen, that word is a oxymoron anyway. It really don't exist. A U.S. citizen, okay, that means that you're in agreement with 1871. That means you're a slave. You're a willing slave to that. If you say you're a U.S. citizen, okay, that means you're a slave to the United States Corporation of America. Okay, but and it's really not complicated. But you got people running around that claim to be sovereigns. God intended us to be sovereigns. Okay, that was God's intention, for us to be sovereigns, govern ourselves. Our founding fathers believed in that. That's what they left us. Okay, that we was our own king. We had our own God-given rights. Okay, we ruled our own self. Okay, but as time went on, our founding fathers, us, even before we was born, we was sold out. Okay, by the Congress and by Ulysses S. Grant in 1871. And we are not sovereign citizens. I hate that word. We're not sovereigns like God intended us to be, or like our founding fathers intended us to be. We're not sovereigns. I wish we was sovereigns. I want to try to restore some of that, you know. And just real fast, the word you get pulled over and you tell a cop you're a sovereign citizen, son, they grab their gun, they lock and load on you, man, they got you eating dirt. They're on you like a duck on a June bug. That's a trigger word for them, folks, and the FBI is spreading these lies about these people. Most of them, now some of them are extremists, some of them, they want to fight the government, and they want a revolution and all this stuff. Folks, that ain't the way to go about it. That's not the way to go about it. But the FBI, even us good people that want to return as much of our sovereignty as we can, it's not anti-government for people like us. It's responsible government. It's small government. I don't want anarchy like Antifa and them. Okay, I want a stable, small, responsible government. Okay, this serves the people, not this system that I call the king, not this corporation system. I'll probably die with a driver's license in my pocket.